Yes, class. Welcome again to our another session. And if you're going to take a closer look kung nasaan na tayo, okay, let me just have a look on the list of modules. And we're actually discussing Module 5, pero medyo mahaba kasi yung Module 5 and we're just done with the subtopic 1. Yung number, list, and tuple. Okay? And so, let me discuss to you for this session about string, set, and dictionary. Okay? And I have downloaded already the PowerPoint presentation for you, class. No? And here we are. We have this PowerPoint presentation already downloaded, and our discussion would be about string set and dictionary. Medyo tumalon lang ng konti kasi kung titingnan natin, yung previously pinag-aralan natin is about list and tuples. Ano? And dapat ang continuation niya would be set and dictionary para lahat sila related with one another, and basically it's all data structure. And iniisip ko dapat yung number natin string na yung kasunod, ano? But anyway, without further ado, no? Our objective for this session is to list the different data types in Python. And yeah, we were able to define already the list and tuple and some number stuffs. Okay, and for today we will be applying, no, the concepts of having a string, set, and dictionary. Class, when we are dealing with strings, no, this is a string processing is a very important aspect of programming. Kasi kung titingnan nyo naman, that's the only tangible thing, I mean, that we could see, diba, when we are working with our data. And kung titingnan natin, it's something that is not represented in a numeric form, in a binary or octal form. Although we know that it has a binary, octal, or hexadecimal equivalent. But syempre, no, kung titingnan natin, di ba, it's a human readable thing. So, mahalaga na we really do know how to process strings when we are into programming. Kasi marami talagang gamit yan eh. Like, di ba, sa mga forms, passwords, data retrieval, data saving, no? Sa data information. So lahat, it's basically strings. And that's why in different platforms naman na ma-handle natin that several programming languages provides string operations. And syempre, hindi papahuli rin si Python. No? Kung si C++ and Java have their own string operation, of course, Python do also. We all know that it also represents, no, a combination of binary numbers if we are to translate it. And we all know that when we are working with newer platforms today, it supports the Unicode character set. And of course, alam naman natin, ang tawag naman natin dito is character encoding. Okay, so you have the ASCII or the extended ASCII, pero kasi we needed to support larger base of characters because of internationalization. So you have this what we call Unicode. And so how do we create a string in Python? We know this already, no? If you're going to take a closer look dito, we could create a string in a single character or single quote, I mean. We could create a string in a double quote, okay? Or we could create a string using triple single quote, okay? Or we could create a string with triple double quotes. Ano? And this triple quote and triple double quotes, they actually extends the creation of the string, okay, through multiple lines. Okay? So basically, if you're going to look at it, no? Looking at the last example that we have, wherein we have the double quote, ano? You will see here that this extends to multiple line. Okay? And so, what we have here is an output also of a multiple line, no, sa screen natin. So, itong last line natin, ito yung output natin dito. Okay? And kung tatanungin niyo, sir, bakit iba-ibang klase? Sometimes kasi, ginagamit din natin yan to escape or to switch from different modes. Kunwari, sa loob ng double quote, 'di ba? Gusto mo mag-print ng double quote. Paano naman 'yun? Ang delimiter mo nga sa dalawang gilid, 'di ba? Double quote, tapos magsisingit ka ng double quote sa gitna like dito. 'Di ba? Paano naman 'yun? So to have a distinction, ginagamit nating version, yung itong version na lang, no? Para pag nagsingit ka ng double quote, okay lang. 'Di ba? So common sense na lang, 'di ba, na pwede nating isipin. Now why is it, no, that Python provides this single quote and double quote and triple quote representation? Okay? So, ayun, that's the way I see it. If you wanted to switch modes, yun ang pwede natin gawin. So, how do we access characters in a string? Isipin nyo lang, class, much like, no, the thing that is good in Python is that when you create a string, it's an object already. And kung titingnan natin is that you could see it as an array. Okay? Parang, 'di ba, yung character arrays. So that's why it has an index. Okay, and you all know that when we refer to an index, dapat it's only of a whole number. Hindi pwedeng floating point. Saan ka naman nakita ng index na 1 or 3.1416? Wala naman ganon. Yeah, that's why it will generate a type error. Okay? And from the previous lessons that we have, yung list and tuples, when we refer to -1, okay, we are starting from the end of the string. And -2 means second to the last item. And much like the list and tuple, just maybe, bakit present po na sa atin, ayun, ano, you could also do some splicing na tinatawag dito sa strings natin. In Java, siguro we can call that as region, okay, something like that, or substring. And C++ also, which is basically substring, okay. So take a closer look. How do we access string characters in Python? Okay, so we have here, of course, this would print out the whole string FEUTEC. Okay, ito, no? This would print out FEUTEC. If you wanted to print out the first character, which is 0, 0 index base ang string natin, so this would print out letter F, ano? Makikita nyo dito. -1, of course, that would be the end of the string, which is H, right? So that would be printed out, yung H natin. And ito, tingnan nyo yung slicing natin. Okay? So, much like yung list natin, class, if, for example, hold on, let me just activate again my mouse. Ayan. So, if we have a string like FEUTEC, no? Nilagyan ko lang ng space, pero kunwari, dikit-dikit yan. Ayan. So, when we refer to what you call this, to 1 here, kasi ibig sabihin nito, no? Itong part na to. Okay? That part, yung unang number na dyan, no, yan yung yung from natin. And makikita ninyo, no, itong part naman na second index natin, no, yan naman yung tinatawag, ganyan yung parati iisipin yan, no? From, tapos to. Okay? Kaya, kung titingnan natin, starting from 0, 1, no? So, 1 daw. So, syempre, di ba? If we're going to take a look at this, no? Ito yung 0, index, ito yung 1. Pero kapag kasi kapag galing tayo sa tingnan nyo 2, ito yung index 2, di ba? And then index 3, something like that, and then 4, and then 5. Tapos, syempre, meron tayong 6. Ayan. Tapos, syempre, dito sa dulo, hindi 0 ang simula eh. Kaya minsan, di ba, nakakalito. Kaya dito, negative 1, and then yung susunod dito, negative 2, and so on and so forth. No? Kaya medyo baka malito kayo doon. Ganon din naman pag we are referring to the list and tuple din. Okay? And so, from 1 daw, okay, so that would be letter E kasi 0, 1 to letter E. Ayan. And then sabi niya hanggang number 5, which is letter C. Okay, pero hindi kasama yung 5. Okay, yung sabi niya hanggang dito. Okay, yung boundary mo. Pero hindi yan kasama. So ibig sabihin, yung E, U, T, E lang ang kasama. Okay, so ganun siya gumagana. Okay, so that's why ang output natin is EUTE. Okay? And so, sir, bakit ganito to, no? 5 and then negative 2. Bakit parang positive and then 2 negative? 'Di ba? It's valid. Kasi sabi niya, simulan mo sa 5. Edi kung sisimulan mo sa 5, kung FEUTE, no? Letter C. Dito daw tayo magsisimula. Sakto, nandito yung arrow natin sa number 5. And negative 2 daw. So, negative 2, negative 1 yung H, negative C. So, dito daw tayo magtatapos. Valid nga naman. Pero kung titingnan natin, itong dalawa, pantay sila, edi walang output. Di ba? So, yeah. I think basically that's what happened there, no? Hindi I think. Kasi, okay, tingnan natin, no? We have string which is equal to, let's say, for example, F, E, of T. Diba? And then, we have print here. Tapos, sabi natin, based dun sa example, simulan mo nga sa number 5. And then, hanggang negative 2. Di ba, syempre, alam natin, basically, alam natin dito, ito, string, tapos 5, no? And then, we have to, pag nilagay natin, alam natin, walang output. Kasi, pareha silang nakaturo sa C, Okay? Pero tingnan ninyo, kung dadagdagan ko to, okay? So something like x, hinabaan ko. So ang negative 2 mo hanggang dito lang, 'di ba? Sa C na 'yan. Kasi ito yung negative 1, yung H, tapos negative 2 yung C. Tapos ano yung 5 mo? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Itong unang X, 'di ba? So yung 6 character. So, notice kapag i-print na natin, na-print yung 4 na X, di ba? Kasi ang negative 2 mo hanggang C eh. Tapos 5, di ba? Dito, simula daw. Hanggang C yung boundary, di ba? So, technically, yan yung na-print natin. Okay, so valid class ang merong negative doon sa 2 na part. Okay? And of course, syempre, valid din naman 'yan para sa sa tawag dito na sa from din na part and vice versa. Okay, as long as you could specify the range, no? As long as the range that you have specified makes sense, no? Doon sa internal representation ng string natin. Okay? And how do you change or delete a string? Actually, much like what do you call this? Much like Java, no? Kasi alam naman natin, no, na in Java we have mutable and immutable strings. Okay? Now, strings in Python are immutable. Ibig sabihin, once na na-assign mo na siya, you cannot you cannot change ano the value inside it. By now, you should be able to distinguish already pag na meron tayong mga programming languages na hinahandle, keso ano pa yan, at na-mention yung mutable and immutable. Dapat alam niyo na siya uh, i-preview sa memory, no? What actually is happening. Kasi like for example, meron kang variable na str is equal to feu. That's what I have said. Okay? Ngayon, strfeu, yung str na yan, hindi mo na mababago yung value niyan. Okay? Much like what happened in the PowerPoint slide. Because it's immutable. So, talaga ba, sir? Anong ibig sabihin nito? str is equal to feu tech. Kanina, nag-assign ako ng feu. Ngayon, feu tech na yan. So, hindi mo naman actually pinalitan ng value. You replaced the value. Diba? Kaya pwede. Okay? That's the main difference. And what happened there, much like my explanation before, yung str kasi na yan, nakaturo sa isang memory location where feu is located. Okay? feu is located. Okay? Dito siya nakaturo, no? Initially. Ayan. And the second assignment, technically, okay, what happened there, you created another memory location for feu tech. Hindi mo pinalitan yung feu sa loob na to. Okay, but rather, you created a new memory area to store feu tech. And what happened here is that the reference that you are pointing to this box doesn't exist anymore, and you are pointing to this one. But this one class still remains on the memory. But, we cannot reach that. It's something like an object without a harness na nasa outer space. So, nagfo-float lang yan sa outer space, sa memory natin. But, when the memory management of Python kicks in, okay, which is much like in Java and other platforms, ang tawag natin doon is the garbage collector. Hahanapin niya lahat ng square na walang nakadikit na reference. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, kung wala kang nakadikit na reference, para saan pa yun? Paano mo siya ma-access? Sinong gagamit? Di ba wala? Kasi hindi mo mahahawakan eh. 'Di ba? Dahil wala ngang reference. Hindi mo nga siya makukuha dahil nga walang nakaturo doon. And so, ang gagawin ng garbage collector, erase. Ayan, tanggalin kita sa memory. Okay, and that's basically how it works in other platforms also. Okay? So anyway, gusto ko lang siguraduhin na naiintindihan nyo yung mutable and immutable. So, that's my class, no? When we are working with strings, okay, this part, which is we wanted to change letter E, this letter E na banda dito, no? Let me zoom it in. Ayan, this one. We wanted to change letter E here to letter A. This would give us an error. Okay, it's not supported. Okay? So, ayan. Even this one. No, you wanted to delete the second character, which is 01. Ito yun eh. Yung E. Okay? You cannot. And this would still be uh, the same output, no? Yung ano natin, yung error pa rin, yung output natin. So in other words, we cannot delete or remove characters from a string, but deleting the string is entirely possible using the del keyword. Not single character. Ito kasi pinakita niya single character. Okay, ang sinasabi, yung buong string ang i-delete mo, del str. Yan, pwede yan. Because you wanted to delete all the string. Yan. Pero ito kasi siyempre print out lang natin. Kaya kung titingnan mo, i-print mo ulit after deleting the string. Okay? So, magre-reklamo na sa atin yung compiler, pre, hindi pwede. Di ba? So, something like that. So, anyway, no? Yun nga, no? That's what we wanted to look into the string. E di, eto naman, if, well, I really do not want to discuss this in details, pero parati natin ginagawa paulit-ulit. If we wanted to concatenate two strings, we just actually did the plus operator. But the new thing here, much like what we have discussed in list and tuples, is that you could also repeat the string using the operator asterisk or the multiplication operator. Kasi how is that possible? Di ba, ginagawa natin dati yung operator overloading. So, yung multiply, in-override yan ng source code ng string ng Python to repeat, no, the string itself. And so, if we have string 1, which is hello, and string 2, which is world, and you wanted to concatenate them, okay, you use plus. And look at the output. You have hello world, no? And look, you wanted to repeat str1 3 times. So, tingnan nyo, yung str1 times 3, the output is hello, hello, hello. Okay? Now, sometimes, if you do wanted to have if you want to concatenate strings in different lines, no, and alam niyo yon, we do not want to edit that anymore, and yung dalawang string kasi naka-multiple lines, kesa i-delete pa natin to, 'di ba? Kunyari isipin niyo nag-e-edit kayo tapos iaakyat mo pa yung string dito para madikit natin. You could use multiple single quotes na lang as a set, no? Like for example, look at this simple example, print hello world. These are two strings separated by single quotes, pero they are concatenated already, no? Once you perform once you enclose them on a parenthesis. Okay? So look, no, yung print s natin. Basically for the first one, ito yung output niya. This one. And let's say for example, itong hello tsaka world nasa magkaibang line and naka-single quote sila. Lagyan mo lang ng parenthesis both, no, from beginning tapos yung end. And they are concatenated already, automatic na yan, no? And ang pinagkaiba lang naman nila, itong nasa gitna nito may new line. Yeah, that's why pinakita lang natin sa umpisa na ganun siya. Ano, na basically you could concatenate two strings with single quote. And how do you iterate a string and visit each character? Well, pwede naman. Para mong sinabing for I is equal to 0, I is less than the length, di ba? So, ganun siya, no? And with this, we just used a for loop. So, for letter in hello world, this is just an identifier. So, for each iteration, dyan na ilalagay yung values natin. Okay, so ibig sabihin, sa unang iteration niya, H ang laman ni letter. Sa susunod, P ang laman ni letter, L ang laman ni letter. Yan. And so, until such time, of course, that basically, no, all of the characters are done already, then we could finish the loop. So, in our case here, ang nangyari, syempre, since ina-iterate niya, binibisita niya bawat character ng hello world natin, it is counting all letters, okay, that matches letter L. And that's why we do have 3 letters that were found. Okay? And we have, syempre, built-in functions to work with Python when we are dealing with strings. Hindi na natin siya iisa-isahin kasi actually lahat ng programming language naman, marami talagang method ang strings natin. Okay? And kung titingnan naman natin dito, no, like for example, this one, and you have a string object already. So kung titingnan natin, isang dot mo lang, ito na lahat yung yung mga methods that you could use, no, when you are working with the string itself. Okay? So ang sinasabi dito, no, the most commonly used ones are the enumerate and the length. Kasi enumerate, you wanted to extract, no, the index of each characters para index pair yung niya, yung content. And yung isa naman, yung length, bakit? Di ba gamit natin usually yung we wanted to check kung gaano kahaba yung string natin. Okay, so look at this example, no? Let's say for example, you have a string Haji. Okay? You wanted to extract the index value pairing ng each character. So sasabihin mo, enumerate. Okay? Pero take a closer look class, no? Hindi mo ginagamit yung enumerate as is. Okay? So something like if for example, ito nga, we have string FEUTEC. Balikan natin, no? Hindi mo siya ginagamit as is. And tingnan nyo, printf. Ay, printf, C++ pala to. Ay, sorry, C programming. Print, no? We have str. Okay? And then we tried to run the program, FEUTEC. And then we wanted to enumerate str. Okay? So, pag in-enumerate natin yung str, you would see here, this would return an object. So, it's quite unusable. Hindi naman natin siya agad magagamit as is. Okay, gagamitin mo yan. Like for example, if you wanted to something like create a list. Ayan, no? Something like this, no? You wanted to create a list out from that string. Okay, so you have here a list out from the enumeration that you have, no? That resulted from the enumeration of the string. Ayan, uubra yan. Okay, and let's say we wanted to assign it to S. Okay, and then somehow you wanted to print the S content. So kung titingnan natin dito, ito na siya, oh. So you have here 0, which is F, C1, si letter E, 2U, 3T, 4E, 5C, 6H, diba? So you can actually use that already. Okay? Pero take note, class. Itong each of the element here, okay, is a tuple, hindi siya list. So this is immutable. Okay? Hindi nyo na siya mababago yung elements sa loob ng list. Paano natin nalaman na list? Kasi bracket. No? Yan yung marker natin. Okay? And yung each of the elements niya, okay, ilang elements meron? We have 7 elements. No? Ang laman niya is a tuple, no? And yeah. Yun yung content ng list natin. Okay? And so, ito, actually, I've been seeing this in most of your lab exercises already. I guess na medyo format pala na. I guess medyo nag-advance na rin kayo in terms of how do we format string, no? So, yung dilemma natin kanina na like for example, we wanted to print a quote inside, or we wanted to print a double quote, much like dito. Ayan, no? We wanted to print a double quote, yung what's there mismo, naka-double quote. Pero yung beginning and end natin, double quote din, no? So, mangyayari, magkaka-error tayo, di ba? And so, what we just did is that for that to be mitigated, we just use single quote na lang so that we could use double quote inside. O, ganun ang strategy. Pag double quote inside, single quote outside. Okay? Pag single quote outside, makakapag-print ka ng double quote inside. Yan, no? Pero pwede rin naman yung C++ style or Java style, which is an escape sequence. No? Ano ba yung escape sequence na naalala nyo? Di syempre yung backslash. Diba? This one. That's the escape sequence. And what are those? No? Ito, like, yung pwede mo pa rin ma-print yung double quote. And single quote. I-escape sequence mo nga lang. Okay, much like this one. And you wanted to print a double quote here and a double quote there. Ayan, no? You could use the escaping sequence. Much like if you wanted to print a backslash. Hindi naman pwedeng isang backslash lang kasi baka mapagkamalang escape sequence. Dapat double backslash. So kung ano man yung natutunan nyo with Java and C++, it is still basically applied here. Yan. And you have a list of escape sequence that you can use. So merong character with octal value, character with a hexadecimal value. So take a closer look. Ano yung equivalent ng hex na or letter H? That's 48. You have 45 and then 58. Ayan. That's the hex representation ng word na hex. Okay, ito naman syempre new line. Ito syempre, no, yung we have double backslash, 'di ba? Mag-e-error 'yan. We wanted to print the backslash kaya nag-double backslash tayo. Okay? Pero alam nyo class, this is ASCII. Sir, bakit what if for example, no? Let's say we wanted a Unicode character table. Ayan. So, meron tayong Unicode character table. And subukan natin, I think we wanted some, meron ba Tagalog? Bakit may Tagalog? Ayun, no? May Tagalog. And ito, subukan natin. Ayan, no? Tagalog letter ka. 1703. You could use that also, 1703. Okay, subukan natin. So, dito, we have print, no? And let's say, for example, we wanted to use the Unicode \U. No? Alam ko, ganun siya \U. Because it's a Unicode character set. And, sinabi ko kanina, sige na nga, 1708. No? 1708 na lang. And then, so, lalagay natin 1708. Titingnan natin, no, kung anong meron dyan. Okay. So, ayun, hindi niya kayang i-display, no, yung character na yan. Ano ba yung character? Kasi nasa console tayo, Ano kaya yung mga pwede sa, sa console? Itong Arabic siguro, baka posible. Tingnan natin. Pero hindi, 0764. Ano lang natin, no? 0764. Okay, and if you're going to run the program, no? Tingnan natin. Kaya niya yung Arabic, no? Daya nito, no? Yung Pilipino, hindi kaya. But yeah, we were able to display this particular character. But kasi, I believe, kasi nasa console tayo. Okay, so subukan natin na natuwa lang ako. Subukan natin yung ano ba yung mga ano ba bang meron dito? Currency symbol, no? yung currency symbol. Let's say for example, itong lira French 2083. You have 2083. Then let's try to print it out. O ayan, no? Pwede. No? So, French. No? French currency. So anyway, yun lang. Just a few thoughts or few information that if you wanted something that you wanted to print, no, in a Unicode conversion, then wala naman sigurong problema for you to escape some characters for Unicode. Okay? So ayan, that is for the Unicode character set. And so, yeah, moving forward to our topic, if you want to ignore the escape sequence, you could just use R. So take a closer look in this example. Like 61 here, okay, is in ASCII code is letter A, followed by small letter A, yung ibig sabihin nito. That's the ASCII equivalent, followed by a new line. So if we will normally execute this on the interpreter, this would give us the output, this is A, because of the X61. Ayan. And followed by a new line, that's why nag-new line tayo. And good example. But if you want to ignore all of the escape sequences dito sa string natin, we could just use R. Ayan. So, we prefix the string with R. So, this would make all of the escape sequences, no, as it is, and it would be printed out on the screen. Okay? So, ayan. Now, let's now go back to the formatting. No? So, that's one way to format. Plus, no, yung ano natin, yung \x or escape sequences na tinatawag. Let's now go and discuss the format method naman. Naalala nyo, class, when you're talking about C programming, or for those of you who are into C programming, meron tayong mga format specifiers na tinatawag. And basically, like for example, if you have %s, and then you have %d, and then you have these characters like Reggie, and then you have 900. So, this is how formatting works. Okay, so tinitingnan niya yung parameters mo, and you need a parameter and an argument na tinatawag. So, ang parameters natin dito, no, sinasabi natin na we are expecting %s to be a string and %d to be a decimal or a whole number. And ano yung laman niya? No, yung %s, yan yung laman niya. And yung 900, ang laman niya yung %e. That's why it's called formatting. Okay? Para let's say, for example, meron kang 10 spaces in between, ang output niya, 10 spaces in between, tapos kung ano man yung argument mo for that particular parameter. Ganyan yung C++ and Java. Kasi may printf sa Java eh. Okay, na C programming style ang gamit. I'm not sure if you have encountered that. But, no, the format string contains curly braces. Okay, as placeholders or replacement fields which get replaced. So, instead of %s and %d, okay, mga braces ang nilalagay natin. Okay, ganun siya sa Python. Kaya take a closer look on this example. Okay? Kunwari, we have a default order na tinatawag. Now, try to concentrate first, no, on this particular string. Huwag niyo muna tingnan yung format. Ito. So, ibig sabihin, class, na ang ginagawa mo dyan, you wanted to display a string na merong tatlong content. na string. Pero hindi mo pa alam. Okay? Kung ano yung ilalagay mo dyan. And bakit ganun? Kasi during runtime, that's the time na doon mo palang isushoot kung ano dapat yung values na nandyan. And one way to format that kind of scenario or use case, okay, is for you to make it empty for the meantime. Kasi hindi mo pa alam eh. Okay? And so, that's why nilagay mo muna na you have 3 curly braces, set of curly braces sa loob ng string mo. Diba? So, afterwards, no, paano mo ngayon yan pupunuan? That's the question. Okay? So, pupunuan mo sa class through the command dot format. Okay? Yan yung command para lalagyan mo ngayon kung ano yung laman nung empty braces na ginawa mo. Okay? And so, sinasabi mo sa dot format, no, na ang laman ng first braces mo is Haji, yung second is yung yan, and Javen is yung pangatlo. Okay? So, basically, that's it. And that's the default order technique. Kaya pag print mo yung string na yan, ang lalabas, Haji, Joan, and Javen. Okay? So, ayan. No? Meron tayong sinasabing, that's the default order. Kasi ito yung 0, 1, 2. Okay? And so, what we wanted to do next, instead of default order, I wanted to customize, na ang laman ng string ko is positional based dito sa content ko sa loob ng format. Okay, so yung index 1, siya yung unang string, index 0, yung pangalawang string, index 2, yung pangatlong string. Ang format natin, di ba, ito yung 0, ito yung 1, ito yung 2. So, ano ngayon ang unang mapiprint? Yung 1 o si Javen, yung una. Okay, ano yung 0? Si Johan, no? Johan. And ano yung pangatlo? Di si Doc Haji. Ayan. Okay, so yan yung positional argument. Yung keyword argument naman, class, ito kasi parang dictionary. So, merong label yung keyword argument natin. So, sinasabi mo sa format natin, okay, na ang representation ni Joan si J. Okay? Si Johan naman, si B. And si Javen naman is letter S. Ayan. No? And so, if you're going to look at that, parang sa named parameter, okay, look at how we formed the string. So, kung ano yung values ng mga variable natin dito, yun yung organization niya sa loob ng mga braces natin. So, si S daw muna. So, si S, siya muna yung mapiprint. Tapos daw si B, ayan. Tapos si J. So, pinapangalanan mo. Okay, that's why you have an output here which is Javen muna. Okay, then afterwards si Johan. And then si Joan. No? So, ayan. No? That's how we actually work using the keyword order. Okay? And so, the format method can have optional format specifications also. Medyo powerful ito. No? And the thing here, class, pag sinabi mong format, ang output nito is a string parati. Kasi formatted eh. No? So, syempre, paano ka nagpo-format? String. So, merong left justify, may right justify, and meron ding center. Ano? Yun ang maganda dito. No? And we can also format as binary, hexadecimal, no? And floats can be rounded or displayed in the exponent format. And paano natin siya ginagawa? No? Take a closer look on this example. Okay, tingnan ninyo, no? That this is what we call default order. Actually, positional to eh. Dahil ginamitan na natin ng number. Okay? So, sinasabi natin dito, class, no, na the binary representation of 0, ano ba yung 0? Ito yung 0 kasi siya lang naman nag-iisa. Okay? Ayan. So, yan yung 0. Is 0 is the binary format of 0. Binary format of 0 daw. Okay? So, kaya that's why, tingnan niyo yung output. The binary representation of 12 is 1100. O, di ba? So, 0. No? B. O, next. O, kasi, teka, baka malito kayo dyan. Ano, bakit meron parang slicing yan? Ito, hindi naman slicing yan. Kasi something like, no, if we have this one, no, like we wanted to print, no, number, and then we have 0, okay? Okay, and then we have this, ayan, ganyan. And then sinabi natin, let's say 12, that format, no? And then we have 12, and then 10, okay? 12 and 10 yung format natin, ha? So, ito, yung 0 natin is 12. And then yung 10 natin is 1. Tapos, sinabi natin dito is actually 1 binary. So, hindi niya gagamitin si number 12. Pero, representation ni 10 in binary. Kasi ito, ibig sabihin nito, yung 1 dito, ano yung i-convert ko sa binary? Ang 1 dito si 10. Kasi ito yung position 0, yung 12, 10 is 1. Kaya pag niran natin yan, 1, 0, 1, 0. Diba? So, yun yung output natin, hindi yung 12. Pero kung gusto mo maging 12, yung binary format, gagawin mong 0 to. So, si 12, ang gusto mong i-convert sa binary. Kaya 1, 1, 0, 0 ang output natin. Okay, and that's basically what this formatting means. So, kunwari, si 1566.345, gusto kong i-convert into an exponent representation. Ito yung output niya, exponent. O si 1/3, no? Ito, 1/3. I wanted to convert it on a floating point na 3 decimal places. So, as what you can see, you have 0.3f. Parang C++ and Java din, no? Floating point precision. Ito na, gamitan na natin ng mga left aligned, right aligned, and center. So, meron tayong tawag dito parameterized or string na tag-10 ang width, no? Yung spaces. So, yung butter na ipiprint natin sa una, which is, as what you can see, this is a default order. Left aligned yung string natin. So, butter, nandun sa kaliwa. Center is the, I forgot, I think this is the caret sign. Ano? And then, right aligned, you have the greater than. So, you have the third one, which is ham. No? And that's how you align. Okay, kung gusto nyo 20 spaces apart, edi 20 yan, no? 30 spaces apart. So, ginagamit sa class sa mga reports. If you wanted to print out reports. Yun ang maganda dito. Sa C++ kasi negative ang left align. Diba? And positive is the right align. Okay. And so, since you could also use the percent symbol. We can even much like the C style. Okay? So the value of X is 3.2f. You could also use the percent symbol. However, if you will be using the percent symbol, you have to use the percent operator. Ito, pag braces, no, format. Pero pag C style, naka-percent ka. Okay? So, yung value ng X, yun yung parameter mo para dyan. And then yan, parameter mo, 4 decimal places, 2 decimal places. So, ayan. Pwede rin palang old style or C programming style of formatting. Okay? And syempre, may mga string methods din, as what we have said, na we will not be discussing anymore. And this is very self-explanatory. Okay? So, syempre, meron tayong tinatawag na lower, upper. If you wanted to split, no, a certain sentence into words, ito tokenize mo. You could just split that. You could also join, no? So after joining, iisa na lang siya. This will join all words in the string. Okay? And let's say, for example, you wanted to find where EW had occurred. And it occurred starting at index 7. Okay? So what's that? No? Kung titignan natin, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. O tama, dyan daw nagsimula. So 7. Dyan yung nakita yung EW. And you could also replace, no? If you have a string Happy New Year, for example, and you wanted to replace the word happy and brilliant, so with brilliant, so lalabas dito, Brilliant New Year, instead na Happy New Year. Okay? So, yan, those are some of the methods of strings or string that is actually self-explanatory by now, as you are actually using that before, no, in most of the programming language platform that you are handling. Ayan. And so, class, no, that is basically all about strings. Okay? So, I guess I just need 5 minutes a break. So, I could come back again and discuss with you how about Python sets. Okay? Okay, so we are already in Python sets. And as what I have said, no, this is another form of data structure. It's actually a kind of a tuple, but the thing here is that pag sinabi mong set kasi class, all of the items inside are unique. Okay, so walang repeating values. So let's now try to discuss it formally. And the Python set is an unordered collection of items. Okay, and every set element is unique, no duplicates, and they should be and must be immutable. No, the elements inside cannot be changed. However, syempre, a set itself is mutable, so we can add or remove items in it. Okay? So, ang sinasabi ditong immutable is the elements inside. No, but the set itself is mutable. Okay? So, sets can also be used to perform a mathematical set of operations like union, intersection, symmetric difference, and etc. And how do you create a set, no? Although yung set is created by placing all the items inside by a curly brace separated by a comma. You have it can also be used using the set function. Okay? Pero ako, if you will be declaring a variable with an empty set, okay, it's best to use the set function. Kasi I believe if you will be using the braces only for creating a variable with an empty set, baka mapagkamalang dictionary eh. But yeah, maybe we could show it later. Okay? Now, the thing with the list and tuple na pinag-usapan natin, yung mismong set din, it can contain heterogeneous types of data. So, kunwari, meron siyang laman na integer, meron siyang laman na float, meron din siyang laman na tuple, meron din siyang laman na set ulit, and then you have the string also, and etc. Now, but the set cannot have mutable elements, no? Okay, like list, sets, or dictionaries. I am sorry. I would like to correct myself. No, so it has been stated that set cannot have mutable elements like list, sets, or dictionaries. So it turns out that the only thing that heterogeneous set elements that it can have is the regular data types and walang sinabing tuple, no? Na hindi pwede. So that's why tuples can be included on a particular set. So here is an example class, no? So as what you can see here, instead of bracket na ginagawa natin, instead of parentheses that represents tuple na ginagawa natin, we started with a set of braces. And we have a set of numbers here or a set of integers, which is basically 1, 2, 3. And that's how simple we could create a set. And if we will be printing it out, here is the output. And as what we have discussed earlier, it can also contain mixed data type. So we have a float, we have a string, and we have a tuple. Okay? Pero wala tayong nilagay na list, di ba? O, and the set itself. So, talagang tuple lang talaga siya pwede. And so, we have hello 1.0 and 1, 2, 3. Okay? Now, let's take a closer look, no? Sabi natin, sets cannot have duplicates. So, if we have declared a set with 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, okay, and it's valid, no? But when we printed it out, the only output here is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Kasi yung the 3 natin, repeating na. So, isa lang ang kukunin sa kanila. Okay? So, we can make set from a list also. Okay? Aside from this one. Like 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay? So, technically, what will happen here? It will be 1, 2, 3 only. Kasi, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2 here are duplicates. So, isa na lang yan. Okay, so that's why sabi natin, sets are all unique. Okay, so we can create by separating it by comma. Or we can have a list and then afterwards, di ba, yung programming technique na lang, no? If we do not want to create logic to remove the duplicates, ipasok na lang natin lahat sa set para lahat tanggal, no? Lahat ng duplicates tanggal. O di ba, mabilis lang. So something like that. And the set cannot have mutable items, no? 3, 4 is mutable. We all know that. List. So this would cause an error. So that's why yung huling example natin where we wanted to create a set with a list element inside, that would result to an error. Okay? So ayan, no? We know already how do we create a set. Ang importante, kailangan naka-braced. Oh, ito siguro yung sinasabi natin kanina, ano? Kasi if, for example, we would be creating an empty set, and syempre, alam natin na braces could be set. This can be mistakenly detected as dictionary. Okay, kaya tingnan nyo, if we would be executing type, no, the output is a dictionary. So that's why it's important na we have a set function na lang. So we are sure that what we are actually working on here is a set. Ngayon, so bakit ba tayo magde-declare ng empty set? Kasi set itself is mutable. Tapos pwede ka magdagdag along the way. Okay? Nung set. Ang sinasabi lang natin dito, na once na nagpasok ka ng laman, yung pinasok mong laman, hindi mo na pwedeng baguhin. Okay? So let's take a closer look. No? It's immutable already. Okay, so that's why sets are mutable. And they are unordered. So, there's no indexing. Okay? Kasi unordered eh. So, anyway, we cannot access or change an element of a set aside from its mutable, hindi mo rin siya mai-index or slice. So, the set data type does not support it. However, since set itself is mutable, you can add multiple elements, okay, using the add method or using the update method. Okay, the update method can take tuples, list, strings, or other set as an argument. No? In all cases, duplicates are avoided. So in other words, let's take a closer look on this example. So we have a set here, 1, 3. Ito sa simula. So natural lang, pag print natin yung my set dito, this is the first output that we have, yung 1 and 3. Okay? And so, let's now try to look at here, no? Yung my set 0. Okay? Bakit it's unordered and we wanted to access siguro yung 1 dito. That's why we refer to 0. And we will get an error by doing that because the set object does not support indexing. Okay? So anyway, if we wanted to add 2, no? Dito sa natin, sa set natin, we could just simply say add 2. And if we would be printing it again, no? You would have a my set, no? Print my set and the output is 1, 2, 3. Which the question is, sir, automatic ba na pag nag-i-insert tayo sa isang set, no? Something like if we have 1, 5, and 10, no? Sa loob ng set natin. And tapos we wanted to add something like 6. Automatic ba na parang nasosort siya, no? So tingnan natin ha. So we wanted to print A. And if we are to run the program, so 1, 10, 5, 6, no? So hindi, no? Hindi siya na tipong what do you call this? Na tipong what do you call this? Yung nasosort. Okay, unordered eh. Eh kung 1, 5, 10 yan, originally, tingnan nyo print. Tingnan nyo yung behavior. Siyempre, nung una, 1, 5, 10. 1, 5, 10, no? Dito sa initialization natin. Pero tingnan nyo yung output niya susunod, 1, 10, 5. Di ba? So, even though it's unordered so something like yung behavior niya, kahit ang initialization mo dito, lagyan pa natin 2, 3. Okay? 1, 5, 10, 2, 3 sa initialization. Ano ba sir ang representation niya kapag sa unang print natin ng A? Okay, tanggalin natin to, no? So, yan, we would like to add it, no? We would like to add it, no? And let me run it again. 1, 2, 3, okay, 5, 10. And isa pang run. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Okay, so at first, no, parang it looks like it's actually tawag dito, it's actually parang sorting. It's sorting it out, but I cannot say that it's being sorted. Kasi something like if I'll be adding letter A sa loob ng list natin, no? Ayan. I'm sorry, this is a character pala, no? I would be adding a character letter A. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 A. Okay? And I cannot say that it's actually being sorted kasi ang definition natin is unordered. So, I'm not pretty sure, but something like I believe that it's being added, no, into the set lexicographically based on the values of the particular character or string that we have placed. Kaya kung mag-a-add tayo ng number 2, okay, ang question dito, ma-add ba siya after A? Or malalagay ba siya sa 1, 2, 5, 10, 2, 3? But most probably, it's randomly somewhere. Or that would be, ay hindi pala pwedeng number 2 kasi may number 2 na. Let's say number 4. So I believe that would be, the output would be something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Or 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, A4. So let's try. Ano? So that would be what? Let's say, let's try to print A again. Kasi nag-add tayo. Diba? Yun yung question natin eh. So if we're going to run that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5A, 10. Diba? It's random eh. Kasi unordered eh. Diba? So medyo, ano siya, I think, it's randomly created again as a new set. Ginagawa siya ulit internally. And so that's why the elements inside are quite unpredictable, because by definition set is unordered, no? Index nga eh. Hindi nga siya nai-index, di ba? So ayan, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10A. Okay? 1, see, nag-iba na eh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10 na. Isa pang run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10A. Di ba? Dito pa lang makikita natin na nag-iiba-iba na because it's unordered. Okay? But at least we saw it, right? How the set behaves. And so, nagkataon lang dito, no? Kaya ko siya niran, no? Kasi nagkataon lang na 1, 2, 3, 4 ang or 1, 2, 3 lumabas. Pwede nga pangalawang run dito 1, 3, 2, di ba? And so what if we wanted to add multiple elements, no? So something like from the original 1, 2, 3, we wanted to add multiple elements 2, 3, 4. It's allowed, pero dapat naka-list, no? Naka-list siya. And notice 2 here is existing already. So, 1, 2, 3, 4 ang output natin. Okay? And we wanted to update, no? We have add list and a set, no? Instead of the add function, you could also use the update function to add elements. So, you wanted to add 4 and 5 into the set. So, pwede rin. And also, 1, 6, 8. I-add mo rin, no? So technically 4 here will not be added anymore kasi nasa list, nasa set na siya. Okay, what will be added here is 5, tsaka 6, tsaka 8 because 1 is existing already. So anong pinakita dito? Na you can use the function update and the parameter of update can be a list or a set also. Okay? So ayan. So how do we remove elements from a set? No, we just use discard or remove. Okay? The only difference between the two is that the discard function leaves the set unchanged if the element is not present in the set. On the other hand, the remove function will raise an error para we could still recover from it. No, sa exception handling natin if that was not present in the set. Okay? So, ayan, no? That's basically what we wanted to do. And so, with that said, yung discard and remove, taking a look at this example, if we have an original example of a set which is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we printed it out, the output is 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alam natin yon. And take a closer look sa output natin, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, looking at this, we wanted to remove 4 here such that we wanted our set to be 1, 3, 5, and 6 only. And so, after this, the output should be 1, 3, and 5, and 6. Kung titingnan natin, the output is 1, 3, 5, and 6. Okay? Ngayon, kung titingnan natin dito, since 1, 3, 5 and 6 na lang ang natira. We wanted to remove, so that is 1, 3, 5 na lang. We wanted to remove 6, so that's why 135 na lang pag print out natin. And tama naman, kung 135 ang in-output natin. And we wanted to discard 2. Discard ang ginamit natin. And we wanted to print again, walang nangyari, walang number 2, so 135. So kung gusto nyo mag-trigger ng exception, you will use remove. Pag ayaw nyo mag-trigger ng exception, just use discard. Because when we discard, no, it will trigger an error or an exception so that you could handle it. No? Pero wala pa tayo exception handling. So that will be our last topic. Kung meron na tayong exception handling class, you can actually handle the discard error type. Okay, so again, let me repeat. Remove for no triggering of exception. I'm sorry, discard for non-triggering exception. And remove for if you wanted to trigger exception. Pero sets can have an operation too. Tingnan nyo. Take a closer look on this example. We have set A, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have set B, which is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yan yung laman nila. So pag sinabi mong union, pagsasamahin nila yung dalawang set. Now, to understand this better, okay, try to look at it as much like a Venn diagram. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pagsasamahin natin. And so, yung 4 and 5, they are both duplicate. That would be actually, yung 4 and 5 sa B would be ignored. No? So, ang output natin would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay? You could use the OR sign para that signifies a union, no? But you could also use the union function. Okay? Pwede rin naman pabaliktad. B union A. A union B doesn't matter. Okay? So, ayan. No, that's the set union. Okay? So, anyway, moving forward, meron din naman tayo set intersection. And you can use the ampersand sign. So, yung intersection natin, if you're going to look at the Venn diagram, ano ba yung parehas sa ating dalawa? Okay? Sa set nating dalawa, ano ba yung parehas sa atin? So, na-detect niya na ang parehas sa atin is 4 and 5 if we have an intersection. Okay? So, that's why ang output natin is 4 and 5. And you could use the ampersand or the command itself. Or vice versa, it doesn't matter. Okay, so basta ang kailangan lang natin tandaan na ang intersection, okay, ano ba yung magkaroon ng pareho sa atin. And kung titingnan natin, if we are to see the difference, no? So, ano ba yung pinagkaiba natin? The set difference. Okay? So, the difference of two sets, like for example dito, no? A minus B. Okay? So, if you're going to look at this, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, ang difference ng A to B, okay, is 1, 2, 3. Okay? 1, 2, 3. So, yun yung wala, no? Si letter B, which is 1, 2, 3. Okay? And pag binaliktad naman natin, B minus A, okay, anong wala kay set B? Okay, ay anong wala kay set A? Okay, so makikita natin, pag binaliktad natin, edi yung kabila naman ang nakashade. So, 8, 6, 7. So, ibig sabihin, no, na si letter A, walang 6, 7, 8. Okay? If we tried to interchange the operands. Okay? So, ayan, no? That's basically the difference is. Okay? So, ayun, no? And we have the symmetric difference. Kasi ito, kung anong wala yung kabila eh. Okay? So, ito naman, when we say symmetric difference, no? Symmetric difference of A and B is a set of elements in A and B, but not both. Okay? Saan tayo hindi nagkapareho? Kumbaga sa Tagalog. Okay? Ito kasi, ang parehas nila is 4 and 5. So, ang question dito, saan ba tayo hindi nagkapareho? Sa 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Yan, that's what you call the symmetric difference. Okay? Saan tayo hindi nagkapareho? And you could use the caret sign or the symmetric difference tawag dito, function call. But marami pang iba no? May symmetric difference update, may intersection update, difference update, and so on and so forth, superset, something like that, no? You could always check, no, the documentation of the set methods. And there are built-in functions with set. So you could use all, returns true if all elements of the set are true, or if the set is empty. You know, any, enumerate, no, len, max, min, sorted, sum. No, yung sorted naman returns a new sorted list from elements in the set. Kasi alam naman natin, katulad nung tinest natin kanina, hindi siya hindi siya nag-sort, 'di ba? So, ayun. Okay? So, we have that other functions with set. Okay? And that is particularly very useful. Even with large amounts of data, it could save you from, from writing multiple lines of code just to determine the difference or where do you intersect, di ba? Or what is the symmetric difference of your data, no? Pero ito, you could also have a frozen set. Kasi yung set natin kanina, you can still add, remove, di ba? You can add or update yung kaninang mga command. Pero if you wanted your set to be immutable, okay, then you could create a frozen set. Pero try to remember, class, ito kasi nag-a-add pa tayo sa set natin, no? Na if we wanted to have A as immutable, okay, you have to initialize A as a frozen set. O in that way, add cannot tawag dito. Add will not be usable anymore. Hindi ka na makakapag-add sa set natin. And what will happen here? Oh, hindi pala. Frozen set. I'm sorry. No? Let me have a look. Is a new class that has the characteristic of a set. No? So, yes, it can still support. And bakit ganon? No? While tuples are immutable lists, frozen sets are immutable sets. Okay? But, no? We were able to add 4. Kasi in our case here, if we are going to add, we created A as a frozen set. Pero, sorry. I wanted to print A again. But how come we were able to add 4? Now, I think that we created another object, tawag dito, another set object here. Pero paano naman natin gagawing frozen set yung I forgot already. How can we create a frozen set ng A na just to show na hindi siya gagana talaga? Maybe if I'll be placing it here, we would be able to create a frozen set with a content of 1, 5, 10, 2, 3A. So let me just check. Hindi. So I guess I should make this as a list para we could initialize the frozen set. Having hindi rin, no? Hindi, yes, gumana na. Okay, it's just that hindi na pumapayag na mag-add. Okay? So let me comment on that. Sorry. Let me comment on our add here. Ayan. So let me print that. Okay, so gumagana naman, no? So we have a frozen set. Okay? Which is 1, 2, 3, 5, 10A. So you cannot, you cannot add them. Pero can we remove this one? No, I don't think so. If we will be removing that, no? Expected at most one argument. So let me create a list for that. Pwede bang is it also a set? No? Para we could initialize them. Oh, ayan. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. Oh, ayan. So gumana siya, no? So we have a frozen set. Okay, for our typical set data structure. Okay, so it supports difference, copy also, symmetric difference, and union. So it does not have methods that add or remove elements. Okay? So the last part, class, is basically the Python dictionary. Itong Python dictionary is much like the dictionary that we know sa programming platforms natin. And when we are talking about dictionary, meron tayong key and the value na tinatawag, no? Parang sa database, ano? So Python dictionary is an unordered collection of items, much like the set, no? And each item of a dictionary has a key value pair, katulad ng sa Java and C++ din. Now, dictionaries are optimized to retrieve values when the key is known. Okay, so creating a Python dictionary is much like creating, a variable with an empty braces, no, set of braces separated by commas din kasi, no? That's why nalilito kanina yung set. No? Kaya that's why it's best, no, na pag gagawa ka ng set, you use the function set itself. Now, an item na nilalagay natin dito, dapat nagsusupply tayo ng key, tsaka nagsusupply din tayo ng value. Okay? While the values can be of any data type and can repeat, no? Unlike set, di ba? Walang repeating set, walang repeating values. Yung keys natin must be of immutable type. No, string, number, or tuple with immutable elements and must be unique. Kasi instead na index ang gagamitin mo, yung key ang gagamitin mo to retrieve the value. O, anong ibig sabihin yan? Okay. So, let's now try to create an empty dictionary first. So, we have an empty set of curly braces. So, we have two items here. Ang ibig sabihin nito, okay, we have two items, si Apple, tsaka si Ball. Okay, ang key ni Apple is 1. Ang key ni Ball is 2. No? And so, we could also have, tawag dito, dictionary with mixed keys. For example, ito, kita natin 1 and 2 are numbers. Pero yung key natin dito is name tsaka 1 o string and number yung key natin. Okay? So, take a closer look. 1 here and 2, no? Yung dictionary natin. Okay, that's how we initialize a dictionary also using the dict function, no? And we have once this is printed, notice we have 1 apple and 2 ball also. Okay? And we can also create a dictionary from a sequence having each item as a pair. Okay? So, yung pairing natin dapat naka-tuple. So, yung key mo is 1 and then value mo is apple. Okay? For each item, dapat naka-tuple siya and naka-list yung initialization natin sa dictionary. And so, what about this example? So, dito, pinapakita lang, how do we initialize a dictionary? Ang pinakamahalaga dito, meron tayong key and value pairing. And para sa inyo na hindi pa nakagamit ng key and value pairing, ano bang ginagawa niyan? So this is something like, ano, pag sinabi kong 1, ibibigay niya sa akin apple. Pag sinabi kong number 2, ibibigay niya sa akin ball. So I'm using the key to retrieve the value, hindi yung parang array na index. So kunwari, pag sinabi kong name, ang ibibigay niya sa akin, John. Pag sinabi kong number 1, ang ibibigay niya sa akin, 243. O, diba? Pero kung naka-list or tuple tayo, i-access natin yung first element as 0. I-access natin yung second element as 1. Pero dito, hindi. Ang pag-access natin from the dictionary, okay, is using the key. So, keys can be used either in square brackets or using the getter get method. No? So, if we use the square brackets, the key error is raised pag wala siyang nakitang ganong key. No? On the other hand, the get method returns none if the key is not found. So, parang kanina, no? Yung discard. No? Naalala nyo sa, sa set natin. Okay? Yung sa set natin class, when we are talking about triggering the exception, okay? Pag ginamit natin, remove, magti-trigger siya ng exception. Pero pag discard, hindi siya magti-trigger ng exception. Ganon lang yung analogy natin when we are talking about dictionary. Okay? So, sa dictionary, pag gusto mong mag-trigger ng exception, gumamit ka ng bracket para ma-handle mo. Pero kung ayaw mo, kung wala lang sa'yo, pag hindi nakita, wala lang, ang gagamitin mo is yung get. No? And so, in this example, meron tayong dictionary na merong name, Ivana. No? So, and age is 18. So, pag sinabi niyang my dick, which is tawag dito, no? Yung may dictionary, no? Ang tawag diyan yung dictionary natin, and ginamit niya yung name, ang output natin is Ivana. Okay? And then look, if I will be using get, okay, age, ang output natin is 18. Okay? Pero what if ginamit natin yung get? Okay? Trying to access keys which doesn't exist throws error. No? So, since get ang ginamit natin, ang output niya, take note, none lang. Pero pag oras na bracket ang ginamit mo, mag-e-exception na yan. Okay? Dahil wala namang address. May nakikita ba tayong address dito? Name and age lang nakikita natin. Wala naman tayong address. No? So that's why it will now throw an exception. So ganun ang gamit niyan. Okay? And how do you change and add dictionary elements? Unlike set, no? Actually, frozen set, pwede naman. But dictionaries are mutable. Pwede ka mag-add and remove. Okay? If the key is already present, then the existing value gets updated. Okay, hindi ka mag-a-add ng element. Pag nakita niya na match yung key na in-add mo, papalitan niya yung laman sa loob kung ano man siya. Okay? In case the key is not present, a new pair is added to the dictionary. For example, ito to, no? Age. Pag nag-add ka, my dick age is equal to 27, yung age na 18 mo dito, hindi na. 27 na ang pagkaka-print out mo. Ito, my dick address is downtown. Wala naman tayong nakitang address dito initially. But since wala, okay, idadagdag niya. Okay? So, nagkaroon na ngayon ng bagong key pair, yung dictionary mo, which is address downtown. See? No, that's how you operate on the dictionary and the elements. And how do you remove? Okay? So, we can remove a particular item in the dictionary by using the pop method. Okay? And this method removes an item on the provided key. Okay? So, syempre, pag magpa-pop ka, okay, iba-iba yung key na nasa loob. Sino ba ipapop mo? Diba? So, sasabihin mo, yung key, yung gusto mong tanggalin. Okay? But all items can also be removed using all items, using the clear method. Or, we could use the delete keyword to remove individual items or the entire dictionary itself. So, tingnan natin. O, kunwari, meron tayong dictionary ng square. So, pag sinabi nating 1, ang i-return value sa atin is 1. Pag sinabi nating 4, ang return value natin is 16. So, pag sinabi nating pop 4, okay, technically, itong part na to, yung 4, itong 4, tatanggalin niya yan. No? Tatanggalin niya yung key value pair na yan. Okay? So, mawawala na. Kaya makikita nyo na ang output natin dito, ang natitira na lang is 1, 2, 3, nawala na yung 4, 5. Diba? Okay? So, ayan. No? So, we were able to, Ngayon, if you wanted to remove an arbitrary item, okay? So, much like dito, square, pop item, arbitrary eh. So, something like when you say arbitrary, kahit pwedeng matanggal. Okay? It just so happen na when we pop an item here, no, 1, 2, 3, and 9, ang na-pop dito is number 5. Sinabi nating arbitrary. O, so, tingnan natin, no? So, let's say, for example, meron tayong dictionary. Okay? Tapos, 1, ang dictionary natin is 1, 1, no? Para mabilis lang, 2, ang value niya is 2, 3 and 3, no? And then 4 and 4, and then 5 and 5, no? Something like that. Okay? And so if we are going to run the program, okay, wala naman tayong operation. Sabihin na lang nating print D para sa simula, no? Ayan, print D. And so we have this dictionary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Eh, ang gusto natin gawin, we wanted to remove a particular item. Okay, using pop. We wanted to remove 5. No? So, dagdagan natin. Sige, i-ano na lang natin, delete na lang natin. So, meron tayong we wanted to pop ang key niya is 5. Okay? So, dapat pag print natin, okay, wala na dapat si 5, which is true naman, nawala si 5. Pero tingnan nyo, arbitrary, pop item, wala akong i-specify, and magpiprint tayo. Tingnan nyo kung sinong mawawala. Okay? Pag nirun ko to, nawala si 4. Okay? Nawala although si 5 talagang mawawala yan. Pero nung nag-pop item tayo, si 4 ang nawala. Let's now try to run it every time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 pa rin. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, yung parating nasa huli ang nadidelete. So, when you say arbitrary, ang definition niya dito sa PowerPoint, ang arbitrary dito is yung pinakahuli. Kasi kung titignan mo, pop, di ba parang stock? Yun yung definition niya ng arbitrary. Okay, kasi kung titingnan nyo, let's say for example, meron akong dito ang gagamitin ko Reggie. Tapos ang value is Cheng. Okay? Yan yung, ito yung key, ito yung value. Reggie Cheng. Okay? So, the question here, no, is that if you're going to print yung natin, yung original dictionary. Okay, so you have Reggie Cheng. Tapos tinanggal natin yung 5, nawala yung 5, 'di ba, sa output natin. Tapos magpa-pop item tayo. Ang question dito, ano bang mawawala? Yung Reggie Cheng ba o yung 44? No? Reggie Cheng yung pinakahuli. So tingnan natin. O, di ba? Yung pinakahuli talaga ang nawawala eh. Pag sinabi mong pop item. So, that is basically the definition, no? Tawag dito, nung arbitrary, no? The pop item can be used to remove and return an arbitrary key value item pair for the dictionary. Okay. So may return value? Yes, no? So the return value, d pop item, sabihin natin x is equal to d pop item. Baka ang return value na sinasabi dito, no, ano yung na-delete? Ang na-delete is basically Reggie Cheng. Okay? So yung totoo, the arbitrary definition here is the last part of the dictionary. Kasi kahit anong run natin, unlike yung set kanina, di ba, nagbabago. Ito hindi eh. So parating yung last. Okay? So ayan, no? That's basically the example there. Ngayon, take a closer look, no? Nag-clear na tayo ng mga square. Ito, nag-clear na tayo. So when we try to print the squares, we receive an empty dictionary. And then we deleted the variable itself. So that's why, pag nag-print tayo, hindi na niya kilala yung squares na variable doon sa program natin. But then again, there are still other dictionary methods that you can look into. Of course, we will not be discussing them all, but you know, if you have extra time, you could just take a closer look at it and try, no, some of the things that is or might be useful to you. Okay? So ayan. So anyway, from here, ano? Tawag dito. What is this example? May naputol ba? So sabi niya dito, we have here a keys of math, English, and science, no? So we have a dictionary and we have a from keys method. So binigay niyang example ito, class. And the specification of the from keys is it returns a new dictionary with keys from a sequence and value equal to V. Okay, so tingnan natin, no? If from keys and from sequence and value equal to V. So dito, okay, ito daw yung keys na gagamitin natin and ang default value niya is 0. Yeah, that's why ang output nito, magkakaroon tayo ng dictionary that was initialized na each one of them has a 0 value. Ayan. And look at this example. How do we iterate one at a time on each of the items in the dictionary? So with this, we just use the function called items. Okay, and we can iterate on them. So the first item on the dictionary, no, would be math, and then it would be English, and then would be science. Now, what we can do also is to how we can extract the keys inside, no? So, ano ba yung mga keys sa loob ng list natin? Hindi value, ha? And look, once we extracted the keys, we sorted them out and have them as a list. So that's why ang output natin is a sorted string, no, of keys, which is English, math, and science, okay, transformed in a form of a list. Kung titingnan nyo mabuti, okay, yung expression natin dito, we tried to extract the keys, and then afterwards, we sorted it, okay, and then afterwards, the sorted values, we converted it into a list. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so another way of creating a dictionary is through what we call Python dictionary comprehension. Okay? And dictionary comprehension is an elegant and concise way to create a new dictionary from an iterable in Python. And all we need here is an expression of a key value followed by a for statement inside the curly braces. Okay, so let's take a closer look on this example. Ito, we wanted to create a square value for each of the numbers ranging from 1 to 5. Kaya ang ginawa natin na we have, ito yung key. Okay, this is the key and this is the value for that particular key. Okay? And so, what we wanted to do here is we wanted to create a dictionary of squares of 1 to 5. Okay? That's why meron tayong for x in range 6. So, ibig sabihin, pag 1 na yung x, you have an element which is 1 and the value is 1 times 1. Pag 2, you have a value of 2 which is 2 times 2. Okay, that's why when we printed this out, we have this output which is 0, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, 4, 16, and then 5, 25. Okay? So, ito yung tinatawag na dictionary comprehension. However, syempre, this is true initialization. You can also do this by this code equivalence here. No? This is another version of it. Okay? Ito naman, you have a filter. Okay? With an if condition. So, para mong finifilter. Okay? Na you will only create a dictionary, okay, having this key and this value, okay, if x modulus 2, no, if it's an odd number, kung meron siyang remainder na 1. Okay? So, yun lang yung mga x na pwede. Okay? Kaya that's why, ano ba yung mga x na, which is, you know, has a modulus 2, which is equal to 1 and ranging from 1 to 10. So, you have 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay? Yun lang yung laman ng odd squares natin. And, you know, you just use a little bit of creativity, ano, when you are working with this particular technique of creating a dictionary. Okay? And yung dictionary natin has other built-in functions like all, any, len, CMP, compares, and sorted. And trying to look at this example, ano, like for example, we have these squares and we use all squares. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng all? Balikan natin, no? When we say all, we return true if all keys of the dictionary are true. This is the Boolean, no? This is the Boolean true. So sinasabi niya na no na all like this one. Pag sinabi nating all squares, okay, 0 here is considered as a false key. 0, the value 0 or the word false. Okay, that's why when we say all squares, ang output nito is false. Ayan, no? You have false. Okay? So, ayan. Pag sinabi nating any, okay, what do we mean by any? Returns true if any of the dictionary is true. Any, no? Any key of the dictionary is true. If the dictionary is empty, it will return false. So this is one way to check, diba? If the dictionary is empty. But anyway, no? Looking at this, no? If any of the dictionary is true, eto, this key is true, this key is true, this key is true, this key is true, and then true, no? So kahit isa lang dyan magkaroon ng true, okay na. Okay? Ang sinasabi natin siguro, ano ba yung true, ano yung false? No? Of course, the elements that are true are the keys that are true is the key true itself, no? A number which is basically not 0. Okay? And string also. They are considered as true keys. Well, ano ba yung mga kinukonsider na false key? Ito yung 0, okay? And you have the false as the value of the key. Ayan. Okay? And looking at this, length of the square, the output is 6 kasi you have 6 items here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No? You have 6 items kasama yung 9. And the sorted squares, no? The sorted key, hindi yung value. So you have 0, 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so I hope that helps in understanding, no, the built-in functions, no, that we have in the dictionary. And that will end our module 5 class. Okay, so if you have any questions, just try to ask using the Canvas inbox, and yeah, I'll try to answer as much as possible. Okay,